February 25th. We've had a couple of warm weeks, but this past week it's been a cold spell. This is a good time to look for reptiles under logs when it's cold, because then they're not very fast and you can capture them more easily. Let's take a look. Logs like this are a great spot to find rubber boas and some other sorts of snakes that come out early in the year, as well as skinks and other lizards. This is a good spot right in here. There used to be a wood pile here, and once all the wood got moved, it was cedar, and a lot of the bark got left behind. And this is a great spot to find lizards early in the season. So I'll look under some of this stuff here. Oh yeah, right. No way. Okay. This is a young bluebelly, or western fence lizard. They're called bluebellies because, as you can see, they've got blue on their stomachs. This one might be actually a sagebrush lizard, but at this age it's super hard to tell. Right after a warm spell they come up to the surface, and then once it gets cold they barely go under the surface, but they're really slow. They're not hard at all to catch. I like these guys. These are a great food supply for larger animals, cats, raccoons, alligator lizards eat these guys. So I'm going to put him back. Buddy. Some beetles, some dirt. This is a German Shepherd, by the way. They inhabit anywhere humans seem to inhabit. Go over there. Over there. You go. Another bluebelly. Oh, right here. Okay, cool. Yes. Yes, this is what I was hoping we might find today. This is a Western Skink. Alright, I set him down on the ground just because I know he won't run away because he's so cold. These guys are really hard to catch later in the year. And they're also called blue-tailed skinks. No, don't move. Because as you see, his tail's blue, but that is a lot more vibrant when they're young and when they're not cold. When lizards get cold, they turn darker colors because dark colors absorb heat better than light colors. And so he's dark and he's old, so he's not going to have a very blue tail. And what I like about these guys is they've got two cool colors. They've got yellow stripes down their back, which kind of fade away as they get older, and they've got a blue tail. The thing I like about skinks is they rarely bite. And they're pretty tolerant. They don't like being held, though, and they're really hard to catch because with their little tiny legs and their long, smooth bodies, these guys are super smooth. They can just slide and burrow down into little holes in the ground and get away. They're so amazing that way. They're really hard to catch, especially in the summertime when they're like solar-powered missiles. This is about as big as they get. This is a pretty good-sized one. When they get old like this, their tails turn more brown. This is one of like the most brown-tailed skinks I've seen. This one's pretty calm. He's giving us a good show. And these guys, they mostly eat termites, carpenter ants, just that sort of thing, small things. These guys, as lizards go, they're difficult to keep in captivity because they eat such small prey items. And people sometimes even mistake these guys for snakes because of the way they move. If I put him on the ground, I'm just going to let him, look at how he almost slithers like a snake. Come here. Move, not under my foot. Okay, come on. Can you move again? Look at that. It's like he's slithering and walking. And they have to do that because their legs are so short. And the thing that skinks do, if they do bite you, is really not painful. They have really soft bites. And I love these guys. These guys are, as lizards go, they're fairly difficult to find. This is probably the earliest I've ever found a skink. I mean, it's February, and he's already out. It looks like he probably busted off his tail once before in his life when he was little. Because if you see right there, he's got kind of a bump right there where it's brown. If you look right there where his tail is, you see it's fat right there, and that's probably where he busted his tail when he was little. And when it grows back, it's usually a little bit shorter. His tail would probably come out to here if it was his original tail. Right there, right where the color seems to change, is where it snapped off. The reason skinks have blue tails is it's a good diversion, and that's why their tails break off so easily. Say if you're a skink, you're walking around and all of a sudden you're pounced on by a cat or a raccoon or something, and you don't get away quickly, which they're very, very good at, but if you don't, they're going to eat you. That's why they have these tails that break off, because the tails, after they break off, they still wiggle like they're alive. They wiggle around for up to a minute probably. And that's why they're blue, to draw the predator's attention away from the lizard, which once the tail breaks off, the lizard runs away. And that's why these lizards have blue tails, because that's all the more distraction, allowing these lizards to crawl away to safety. And if you look right here on the ground, this is on the underside of this log that I turned over. He was right there in that little cavity. This is what a skink burrow looks like. He was just hiding right under there, kind of curled up in a ball underneath this log. That's where I'm going to put him back right there. Thank you for letting us catch you, buddy. Cool. Alright, well, I think... Hi there. Hi there. I think that's all we're going to find today. It's pretty good for February. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. As always, be safe, be smart, and have a lot of fun when you're out there catching critters. See you next time.